sometimes. But then I like the ones that say, those are the ones I like. And I go out of my little way. Absolutely.
What the heck is the camera?
Good.
Huh?
You have a sign-in sheet
Yeah.
for them.
Before you come back, just do something that's really nice. And then way more than
There's a
and it was beautiful.
poor guy out in Oakland. He does outboard
Yeah.
repair. And he wants me to make him a really cool sign, and I keep telling him, all right, I'll get to it. Poor guy, he ordered it like before Christmas, and I'm just now starting on it, but I said, all right, I gotta do this, so I'm making it up to him, so it's about twice the size he
We don't-
asked for, way more elaborate, but hey, use patience, so you get sent to school.
Have patience.
Oh, I guess it depends what your question is.
And I wasn't sure how I was.
So that was part of the 2001.
Yeah, and it was way
Even just the font he chose.
from 2001, that's why it has.
Same
The
was.
commission
No,
basically couldn't
so
understand.
actually I have
Crosswalk from our corner over to
what I've got.
a sidewalk that is bordered by a fence. wall.
The school ball fields.
Layers.
Do you have any off the top of your noggin?
I just remember seeing it.
Raised that. But each one of those little white pieces has to be cut out individually.
So when was it waived?
So the
Because even in the
black is
findings of
actually-
fact
Anyway,
that the planning commission signed, it was in there.
painted
Was
black.
in that.
Mhm.
So it was
Well, in our case, it was
rather than-
If you,
Aaron,
Oh, yeah, and I told them
no, it was
that
just,
it's gonna be, and this
I'm
is just
wondering
the
if
bottom
maybe
quarter of the size.
Because it kind of-
I don't know if it was for parking, because on-street parking on the other side of the street.
they, maybe. And, Richard might, I don't know if he was on the commission.
Well, that was a negative.
I think a better.
We'll ask him.
And then they got-
Were you on the commission in 2001? Were you on the commission in 2001?
I never could see it. It's curvy back.
Do you recall the original CUP that they did?
you guys?
2001.
I understood.
And there was a condition from there to do a crosswalk across.
Right on. You're talking about something.
But where there's no, it's only a, the through street and it tees into it, they're recalling it being waived. Do you remember any discussion about that?
But,
10 years ago.
Actually, it's
20 years ago.
Yes, I probably, yeah, I definitely was probably on it too.
I was here.
Well, I was too, yeah.
The
God, that's,
Not a good sign.
I know there's so many different things.
Just trying to figure out if there was like a reason that, I mean, like Jamie had stated, and we can discuss it more with the hearing, but.
So what the staff report is stating is because of the general shortage of parking and with the fields on the other side.
Yeah, the ball field is on the other side and it's fenced off from the street.
Because the proposed expansion in the time would reduce the available on-site parking by 5 parking spaces. The reduction of parking spaces shortage that exists when church service function coincide with athletic events on the neighboring fields. He goes on to talk about that. So in conclusion, the development is consistent with the proposed but underlying zone and may enhance operational characteristics of the neighborhood. A new crosswalk installed by the church across Umatilla should alleviate potential pedestrian safety concerns that may be caused by some additional on-street parking.
I was gonna suggest that we move that from Second Street to First Street, because we also use have permission to use the school district's parking lot next to that same field across the street, and that would give a crosswalk for people parking over
Between
there.
the field and A1, yeah.
Yeah,
That would make sense.
yeah, the other one would just
Center
dead
of the
end into
fence
the-
line there.
But then what about
Instead
the
of center of the
distance?
bench line.
Because that's not even a full block. And so to go from an intersection of a busy intersection.
To go across here.
Because so where this is a busy intersection, if traffic gets backed up because they're stopped here.
How we doing? Good. All we got.
But if you
Because
saw
they
in the
wanted-
map,
Yeah.
if you move that to First Street,
That's what we're looking at.
yeah, it would be right across basically from the parking lot that we use between the field and A1.
I had one. Yeah, one here.
Oh, that guy,
Yeah.
district.
Urban renewal. So, that's- I didn't bring my diagram.
Is that gonna be too close to central?
That's what we were talking about.
It's across from First, so it'd be about 100-foot block
But,
probably.
you know, any intersection you have with the streets is across the street. It would be right up here, okay, instead of having it right, and because you enter the field is way up here, you don't enter the field here. You either come in the field, I think here, and the other entrance is way up here off of Second. Which would be, maybe that's why we did, it, because the entrance to the ball field, there's an entrance right across from Second Street.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Okay,
there is a gate
the
there.
the entrance into the ball field, everything, but Sutherlin is right there.
Well, we can bring this up as part of the hearing, just so it gets to becomes part of the record, and discuss it a little bit further.
But that would make sense why it would have been put there at that time.
Well, their
Well,
primary bigger parking lot appears to be off of Second too, which I'm assuming.
For the church, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The, that gate that is the entrance to the ball field is usually locked, and everyone goes in other end.
I think there's two up there. There's one in the center. One a little bit further up.
I don't
We can
recall.
play soccer over there. Football practice.
You guys still need to recruit one more member.
I tried to get Forge to come back. I have coffee with him every day.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that motorcycle ride I made here the other day, it was him and one of his brothers,
Hmm.
another buddy of mine that went up to Diamond Lake and
Oh,
brought
wow.
down the trail at the canyon wheel and back around.
Oh, well, that'd be nice, right?
For short ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We used to
so,
have- we used to have the same problem in Winston when I was on the planning commission there. We were always a member short and couldn't find anybody to fill the spot.
well, we had enough, and then we had like two people that need to be reappointed, but then we had 4 or 5 people apply. Well, the city council picked a couple, well, then medical reasons happened, and so then someone they appointed had to drop out. And so it's just kind of,
That's why you got me back.
we got you back, but then we're still lacking.
Could you go back and ask the others that didn't get on if they wanted to,
Possibly.
they had an interest?
Yeah, and I don't know, HR's been dealing with it, so.
Because I think the budget committee is down a couple, they have 2 vacancies. The parks
Yeah, it's all
committee
that.
has a couple vacancies.
I think we're full now.
Oh. Well, she needs to take it off the website. 'Cause I was still, I'll check and make sure that it still shows planning commission vacancy.
I think we're- Oh, no, you're right. Vicky Holland stepped down at the last meeting.
Oh, yeah. He will not be here tonight. He said he could Zoom if there wasn't gonna be a quorum, but that's why I made sure you find folks who are gonna be here.
Well, and if you guys didn't final it last night, you wouldn't be here, so,
Oh, yeah,
because budget.
you have 2 nights of
I
fun.
replied to it.
You did, yeah. Yeah, you all did.
I wasn't sure, somebody emailed me the other day because I'm on budget too, and I tried to respond and it wouldn't be respond. I mean, not directly. And it came back with this message saying it would be approved to send messages.
And it was someone at the city.
I've never seen that.
We're not that important.
Dennis is probably.
Are we ready?
We are good when you are.
20 seconds.
Oh, I'm like, no, it's 18th.
Okay, the City of Sutherlin Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, May 18th, 2021 at 7 p.m. is now in session. We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Media, introduction of the media. Any media?
No.
Nope. Okay. Approval of minutes for March 16th, 2021. Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second,
Commissioner Daigle,
aye.
Commissioner Woods.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarnoski.
Aye.
Commissioner Price.
Aye.
Chair Lee.
Aye. Okay, we'll move on into our judicial hearing, quasi judicial hearing. Got to read a statement first. All persons testifying shall be deemed parties to the application and must provide their name and full mailing address if they wish to be notified of the decision, continuances, appeals, or other procedural actions required by the code. Public testimony should be limited to those criteria and findings of fact or to other city or state land use standards that the person testifying believes apply to the proposed land use action. Anyone wishing to be considered as a party in this matter must raise an issue in person or in writing with sufficient detail to the city zoning code, providing specific applicable criteria to be relied upon in making a decision. Those criteria and findings of fact are in the city staff report. Affording the hearing body and parties to the hearing an opportunity to respond to an issue precludes appeal to the city council or land use board or to seek damages in circuit court due to a condition of approval. Okay, I'm gonna open the public hearing and is there any conflicts of interest? Anybody have any conflicts of interest? Are there any challenges to any of the planning commission members? Hearing none. Okay, I need to hire staff.
So ODOT was the only party status that replied, and they had no comments. So now enter the staff report and the 8 exhibits. They're all attached here if you need to review them.
Maybe someone else wants to start, because I'll probably take too long.
And it is a lot of the information that, like the notice you received, the staff report, and then just the maps. Yes. So I'm going to read to you part of the staff report. So the applicant, the Father's House International, is requesting a conditional use permit to authorize a church within the existing buildings and also the construction of a 24 by 36 accessory building. The existing buildings are located on the west side of Umatilla Street on the corner of East First Avenue and East Second Avenue in the city of Sutherlin. A church and places of worship and accessory uses are conditionally permitted use in the R2 medium density residential zone. The proposed use will authorize all the existing buildings on the subject property located at 358, 364, and 376 East Second Avenue and 251 Umatilla Street. During the public hearing, the Planning Commission will accept public testimony and make a decision on the application after the hearing. The application is being processed as a type 3 procedure for a conditional use permit. As part of the Planning Commission, you will review the applicant's request for compliance within the applicable criteria and render a decision on the matter. The requested application was filed with the city on April 4th, 2021 and deemed complete on April 13th, 2021. Notice of the public hearing of the conditional use permit before the Planning Commission was given in accordance to section 4.2.140.c. As a type 3 procedure, notice was sent to affected property owners record within 100 feet of the subject property and service providers and governmental agencies on April 23rd, 2021. ODOT was the only person to respond with comment that they do not have any comments on the proposal. So I am going to assume that you have all read the staff report that was sent to you last week. So I'm going to skip through the middle part and go over the action alternatives that staff is proposing. Based on the applicant's findings, the staff report, and the testimony and evidence provided during the public hearing, the Planning Commission can close the public hearing and move to either 1, approve the requested conditional use permit on the subject properties with the following conditions: provide final documentation, i.e. final plans for the proposed development demonstrating continued compliance with the landscaping, vehicle, and bicycle parking standards of the Sutherlin Development Code. The applicant shall install a new crosswalk access across Umatilla Street at the location specified in the decision document in coordination with the school district as directed by the Sutherlin Public Works Department. This crosswalk shall meet applicable city standards and include a wheelchair ramp. The applicant shall also install north and southbound pedestrian crossing signs. And that, if you read your staff report, was a carryover from a 2001 conditional use permit application that they applied for. Obtain the necessary planning clearance worksheet approval from the Community Development Department once the above conditions have been met, authorizing the accessory building. 2, approve the requested conditional use permits with modifications and or conditions of approval based on findings of fact and or testimony brought forward through the public hearing, which recognize the approval criteria can be met at this time. 3, continue the public hearing to a specified date and time, or to close the public hearing and to leave the record open to a specified date and time for submittal of additional evidence and or rebuttal. Or 4, deny the requested conditional use permit on the subject property based on findings of fact and or testimony brought forward through the public hearing on the grounds that the proposal does not satisfy the applicable approval criteria. City staff recommends that the Planning Commission select action alternative number 1 and approve the requested conditional use permit as outlined in this application with the above stated conditions.
Now we'll hear from the applicants. I'm assuming these gentlemen are the applicants. Go ahead.
My name is Jeff Byers. I'm the administrative pastor of the Father's House. If you got the 2001 conditional use information in front of you, we were at that time Sutherlin Christian Assembly. Since then, we have incorporated Father's House, and that is our current name. What we basically plan on doing is putting in a 24x36 storage unit. To be honest with you, right now, we're looking at a metal building because I don't know if you've seen the price. But in order to get a framing package, you have to have a armed escort, bring it to your site. But it's basically just going to be a storage building, going to be located, you have your map in front of you right there, located directly behind the youth center, which is the 251 New Matilla Street. There is already an existing, it's an RV.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
just a
hardwood
cover, yeah.
And also a small storage building at that same site, which will be taken down and replaced with this particular building. And that is basically what we are requesting right now. But I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have any.
Have no questions? Okay, now we'll go to any proponents of the, do we have anybody there?
Still making sure.
Okay. No proponents to give testimony. Any opponents? Still nobody there. Okay. Any neutral comments from anybody? Nope. Any rebuttal? Nope.
Do you guys have any rebuttal?
No rebuttal or question. I don't know if this is the right place to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is it for a conditional use, is it for a minor use permit or a large use permit?
We just have a straight
You
conditional
just only
use.
have
Yeah.
one, okay, just one of those.
I don't know if it would be applicable, but a little bit of history on this. The original sanctuary building was built without a conditional use permit in I'm going to say 1990. And when we decided to add the fellowship hall extension onto it, we went through a conditional use permit, but at that time, the staff didn't include
All
all of the property. So that's why one of the reasons we're back here now is to get the whole thing.
And that's what we found with several of the existing churches within Sutherland. And that's why you guys have seen so many churches in the last, say, handful of years, because they never went through the proper authorization, or it was very limited. So by authorizing all the buildings, the property, then if they wanted to build an extra building or add on, they wouldn't have to do an additional conditional use permit.
Wasn't the house bought after that too?
Yeah, the house,
Umatilla was
yeah,
bought after that.
Umatilla was added after the conditional, the last conditional use permit. And one of the reasons they didn't file for a conditional use permit, it was an assumption on their part, was because that was the Christian church that Southern Christian Assembly purchased and then built another building and tore down the old building. It was kind of assumed that there was a conditional use permit because there was a church there and had been for quite a few years. So.
Well, if there's no objections from the commission, I'm going to close the public hearing. Closed. Now we're going to any.
Okay, we got one thing about the crosswalk. And I see where it's, public works for the school. I think we should leave that up to them.
To Public Works.
Yeah, to figure out where to put it. Okay, after the discussion we had just before the meeting. They're supposed to put it in a crosswalk. Okay, well, putting it right in the middle of it. Yeah, that's not. It would be better off putting it down on First Street across from the parking lot. Yeah, going in there instead of being up. Okay, so I would make recommendations for Public Works to look at that and work with them on that part to see if it's feasible with ODOT too, because it'll be so close to Central. To put the crosswalk there. The kids cross there all the time to go to the store. So having a crosswalk would just make it, a little bit more feasible. In any intersection you have with the street, is a crosswalk very anyhow. You know, it's just don't have the
You
line.
kind of anticipate them to be at those intersections. It's like that weird one that used to be outside of Murphy, just right in the middle. of
Oh,
nowhere.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still there,
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
yeah.
Because
But,
Murphy's had their offices on one side and their
Yeah.
garage on the other, so they.
and the parking lot behind the office.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a disaster.
Now that they moved it, is you don't notice it because nobody uses it. But I remember when I first moved here, I thought this is just the strangest crosswalk ever.
And they would take their time coming across, okay? You get 2 or 3 guys that come out, and then they just get across and here's the other one. You'd be still stuck there. But that's my recommendation. Is to see about moving that crosswalk down off the first to the parking lot.
so I can amend that condition to a site specific with the public works director to look at it and coordinate with you.
So we'll just go through public works to.
I'll talk to Aaron tomorrow, or I don't think he's in tomorrow, but I'll talk to Aaron and then have him connect with you.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Motion?
Make a motion that we approve number 1.
Second.
Oh, I'll second.
Action 1 as amended.
Actually, yeah, as the other amendment, I'm sorry. She's got it.
She's on top of it. Commissioner Daigle,
Yes.
Commissioner Woods,
Yes.
Commissioner Sarnowski, Commissioner Price,
Aye.
and Chair Lee.
Aye. Gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
No, that's just a simple crosswalk, though, right? It's not one of
Oh, no, it's the flashing beacons.
It's a what?
Just, I was kidding.
the. That's what I was
No,
wondering.
just a simple crosswalk with the lines and then a sign. Just a little, yeah, plain.
Never know. I just thought it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Bill John did say hi.
Take care.
I'll do that.
Okay, monthly activity report. Everybody has a chance to look that over? You guys are staying busy again.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever slowed down.
The COVID didn't slow it down at all, did it?
One thing slowing down is lumber price. Talking to Forrest this morning, and just a stack house for lumber, 2,400 square foot home is $79,000.
Well, OSB went from $6.77 a sheet last year to 63.
Well, it's 68 now.
Is it really?
Yeah, Forrest said 68 yesterday.
Tomorrow to be 72.
Yeah.
Glad I'm done with my shop.
Start building yurts.
Heck, at this point, I'm tempted to burn it down for the insurance. That's a big payout. What is it, 73 a sheet? There's a lot of sheets at OSB.
Does anybody have any questions on the activity report?
Yeah, as you see, it's not slowing down the building on that
No.
third page.
That's probably why it keeps going up. They won't
Because the
stop
demand.
raising it till it does slow down.
But, okay, we'll have public comment.
Who's that on your screen right there? You, oh, I'm over on this side.
No public comment, commissioner comments.
I'm curious, do you know how many new homes that built Sutherlin in the last year?
In the last year, actually completed, I wouldn't say, I mean, there's probably still 10. I mean, to go from start to finish.
What just started? I don't care if they're-
Oh,
I'm just
well,
curious.
Started just since January was roughly 15. Just since January. I counted them for somebody yesterday.
I was gonna say there's 9 brand new ones just in the last this activity report right here, which is just the last month.
That includes what's up on the hill over there.
New development,
Above Scardy.
that fairway.
Yeah, that's part of the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
just platted phase 2, so they have new lots that they're starting to build on. And then Steve Hood just platted his phase 2, so he's got 11 lots he's gonna start building on.
And then once our development codes are adopted, you're gonna be hearing a plan unit development coming this way.
Which will be about 50 lots.
10 years ago or something, we were called the golf course, so yeah, 150.
Oh, wow.
And we've received the plans for Evergreen to get started. So we'll be reviewing those.
It's amazing. Lumber prices are going up and buildings going up. You know,
It's not slowing them down.
You think it's so long? I would pause.
Any other comments from the commissioners? Meeting adjourned.
15 more minutes. We saw each other at the store.
Ah. Did you
I
guys
sent
bet?
a text message out to, can't remember her name. She's on the planning committee, or not, the parks committee. The-
Sylvia,
No, the one that works for the church.
Crystal, Cunningham?
Yeah. See if she might be interested.
Yeah, she'd be good
On,
Sounds like she wants to get in this.
on this?
political thing.
on planning commission. She was appointed to the parks.
Oh.
Yes, she might.
Yeah, there's an application on the city website, or you should just submit to Diane, or you could email it to her.
I haven't heard back yet. I didn't know there was no thing. I know she said she wanted to get way more involved.
Perfect.
Good deal.
Leave that fun.
There's nothing else. Hello.
Do I need to send something?
Not this one. You got this one. You're good.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, we won't let you out of here. It's parts you'll have to sign.
Oh, okay. It's wait, tomorrow?
No,
When is that?
Don't confuse her.
June or July.